podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, sometimes crocheting. I do have crochet today, but it's always about all of the yarny goodness that I love. A big hello to everyone. Welcome back to returning viewers and subscribers. And if you're new, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like what you see, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel. I'm coming to you from a very warm week in Nebraska where I live with my husband. We are recently empty nesters and our cat Reese's. Let's see, you can find me other places, Instagram and Ravelry as cbcraftygirl. And for this podcast, we do have a group on Ravelry, and we currently have 3 make-alongs going on. So I am going to briefly touch on those. If you would like to join in or see what other people are making, please follow those links down below to guide you to those groups. Love to have you join in. The first make-along is a Love Your Stash make-along. So using stash, anything previous to this year, but you can mix some old and new, but lots of beautiful finished objects happening over there, and I'm just going to highlight a couple. The first I'd like to highlight is by Ravelry user M. Joe, and that is May, and she made a coloring book raglan, and that turned out so pretty. And then another sweater is by Delightful Works, and that's Susan, and she made a faucet, I hope I'm saying that, or faucet top. That's by Knitting McPurley, I know. And that's beautiful. I love the colors that you chose. So some beautiful sweaters, and there's lots of fun socks, lots of fun things going on. So if you are using your stash this year, go ahead and pop those in the finished object thread or chatter along. I draw prizes quarterly, so you might you have a chance to win a pattern prize. The other make-along is a blanket make-along. So pulling out those blankets we may have started in the past or making new ones. There's just a general thread, I think, for that one, chatter and finished objects. And just to clarify again, and it is on the first page, if you finish something, you can post it twice in that thread. That gives you an extra chance for winning. So it gives a little bit more than just the chatter. All right, so the first I want to highlight is by Bork P. That is Peggy. She finished her log cabin blanket, which she said she started in 2017. So way to go, Peggy. That's great. That is great. And then Ravelry user DML Knits. It's a Starburst motif square blanket. Looks like crochet. Very, very pretty. So great job on working on those blankets. I've shared before, I'm not doing so well this year. I was earlier. If you've been following, you know I was working on my what is it, coziest memory blanket with the mitered squares, but that's been on the wayside. But for me right now, it's too warm to work to work on a blanket. So if that cooler weather came, maybe that would prompt me to work on a blanket. All right, the last make-along I want to highlight is our Merry Makealong 2023. This just goes a couple more days till the end of August. It started July 1st, ends August 31st, and this is anything having to do with Christmas. So using Christmas yarns, making Christmas gifts, making something Christmassy for yourself, Christmas decoration for the house, anything goes. So a couple I want to highlight. It looks like a couple gift knits in this for these. The first is by Ravelry user DTROJ, that's Dirta, and she made the Stephen West socks. I think those turned out really fun, really, really fun. And then by Ravelry user Rosalba B. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Rosie. That's Rosie. Rosalba B. And she made some pioneer mitts, I think for a coworker. So those turned out really pretty too. So great job, everybody who is working so hard this year, knitting and crocheting and making all sorts of beautiful projects. It is so fun seeing all of them, and I hope if you're participating, you feel good about using your stash, or good about working ahead on some of your Christmas makes, or getting those blankets done. You all are doing a tremendous job. And I do have some more, I guess, administration stuff, but I'm going to save that for the other side of the podcast after we talk about all of the knitting and crocheting goodness. So we are going to go into some finished objects, and I have quite a few today. Just reaching over here. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I hope that's not the case, but I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast. Let's see. Let's set things down here. The first finished object I have is this pair of socks that I knit for my husband Jeff for Christmas. I am really happy with how they turned out. I started these on our vacation trip to Minnesota and finished it recently. The yarn is Trekking XXL color number 478, and I think they just turned out really, really nice. So it feels good to have that pair of socks done for my husband for Christmas. I've said before, I always knit a pair of socks for him and stick it in his stocking. So now these are ready to go. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about those, but I am going to take them off the blockers now, and they will be ready to be put into my gift box. Do you guys have a spot where you keep your gifts? I have a big plastic tote that I keep hand knits that I am gifting. So those are finished. The next thing I made is a crocheted project. If you watched last episode, I had made another crocheted plant, and I liked it so much that I decided to make another one. So this is the fern car hanging plant, and the pattern is by Samantha Meter, and it's a set of 3 crocheted plants, car hanging plants, and she has, I believe she is coming out with some more plants, not hanging ones, but just for decorations around your house, which I think are just so fun. So I'm looking forward to those as well. But I think this turned out really cute. I realized last time that I did not say what yarn I am using, so the same yarns, different colors that I used for last time that I'm using this time for here. Boy, that did not come out sounding really coherent. Sorry. I used Big Twist Value Solids. That is a Michaels brand yarn. And then also Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton. And I used most of the colors that she had suggested in her pattern. And I think it just turned out really, really fun. Yeah, I just can't say enough about it. Let me see if I can turn that in so you can see the detail on those leaves. But really, really a fun project. And if you want to go back and see last episode to check out the plant I made, that one was really fun as well. And I had made that for my daughter Jenna, and she did hang it up in her dorm room. It's hanging from her, like from a desk shelf, and she texted a picture of it to me right away. So I thought that was that was really sweet. So that is my, I think, one and only crochet project for today. All right, moving right along, I knit a dishcloth, which is very wonky in shape. I just really don't know why these are so wonky. I want it to be a gift, but can you see how wonky that corner is, that lower corner? It's just, on my increases, this is a free pattern. So on the increases, the yarn overs are tighter, but then on the decreases, what I'm doing, they are much looser. So I have barely started a second one, but I'm trying to keep my yarn overs now on the increase side looser to try to help that, because I don't like how that looks. And maybe I'll block it before I would give it to the recipient, or I might just keep this one. I should tell you what the yarn is though. The yarn is very nice to work with. This was a new to me yarn. This is by K&C. Let's see, where is it? K&C Essential Cotton. That was at, I gotta think about this, Joann's, I want to say. I think that's Joann's. Yes. So that was a new yarn to me from Joann. So it's a cotton yarn, very, very soft, you know, similar to Dishy, maybe even a little softer. I don't know, I would have to compare. But very fun to use, very nice. I will say the skein of yarn did have a knot in it, which I do find a little frustrating, but I guess for a less expensive yarn, that's all right. But I had to do some weaving in, you know, not just my start and finish, but somewhere in the middle too. So I hope that doesn't happen with every skein, because I did buy about five different colorways for to make dishcloths with. This colorway is called Desert, and I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but it's got really light creams and peaches and this hint of gray at the bottom. So really pretty. Am I being too fussy with a stretched out corner? If you have any tips for not making that corner so stretched out, let me know. The pattern I used was the dishcloth, let's see, no, garter stitch diagonal dishcloth. I did not write down who it's by, but I will link it down below. So not really happy that it's so wonky. So I really would appreciate if, and I've done, you know, the grandma's dishcloth, they're all basically the same. And I always seem to have a little trouble with one corner being wonky. So I would really love any tips or advice about that. So if you have any advice, leave it in the comments down below. That would be so helpful. All right. A big finished object, I think, is this scarf, which I made for Jeff's uncle for Christmas, for Uncle Stuart. Let's see. There we go. So it is the Irish hiking scarf. Let's see, I should show you with the right side out. Irish hiking scarf by Adrian Basilia. I used Barocco Vintage, color number 5146, finished measurement, at least lengthwise. I guess I didn't measure widthwise. I think it was 7, but lengthwise it was about 84, and that just gives a nice, I figured, a very nice length for looping like I did, or wrapping it a couple times another way. But let's see, here it is, a very easy cable pattern. I appreciate the couple of viewers who reached out and suggested this pattern. I really like it, so I'm excited to have this pattern up in the hopper to pull out if I should need another scarf at some point. But really happy with that. So for the Merry Makealong, I have finished a couple Christmas gifts. I did a pair of socks for my daughter-in-law, a pair of socks for Jeff, and a scarf for an uncle. So very happy about that. I don't know if there's anything else I want to say about that. I don't think so. So that will be going in the gift box as well. So those are the finished objects. I do have one half object, which I thought was going to be a whip, but I just finished it off last night. Haven't woven in the ends, but that's all right. I have a new sock that was cast on and one finished. So you have not seen this one before. Let's see. I'm trying to situate it so it looks fairly nice. Well, I can show it this way. All right, so I am trying to knit this pair of socks for my husband's aunt for her birthday. She has a mid-September birthday. I hope she's not watching right now. If you are, hello. I just happened to think of that. I don't think she watches though. So I am making this yarn I pulled from Deep Stash. I don't remember when I got it. I'm not entirely sure where I got it, but the yarn is Wisdom Yarns Pix, P-I-X. Color number is 103 and it's called Paisley. But isn't that fun? Such a fun self-patterning yarn. I really, really like that. So as I just finished this last night, I did not cast on sock number 2, but I will be casting that on very, very soon, as it needs to get done before the middle of next month, so it has time to get blocked and sent off. So I really like the patterning on that. All right. Moving right along, we are going through things fast. So those are all the finishes that I have for today. I'm going to go ahead and share some works in progress. I'm just going to set this off to the side here, excuse me, and take a drink. Diet Mountain Dew, my favorite drink of choice. It is 9:30 in the morning, and yes, I start drinking Diet Mountain Dew pretty early in the morning, but I am not a coffee drinker, and I don't so I don't have that morning wake up, so I drink my Diet Mountain Dew. All right, let's see. WIPs, works in progress. Well, just this week I pulled out the Carla's Garden Shawl. That is a pattern by Darcy of Chit Chat Knits. I did not have a whole lot. I do not have a whole lot more put in, but it's about an inch or 2 inches. And I did get bigger cords, so you can see it stretched out a little better, except it's upside down. So there's the top of the shawl, which I'm not holding on really well. And here is the progress I made. So I was here. So I've done this just over the course of a couple days, just working a little bit on it, not a whole lot. But I really, really wanted to get back to this shawl. I am using a 3 skein kit of yarn from Skein Cocaine. I don't have the colorways written down again. I've talked about them before, but it was a beachy themed colorway set, and I'll just pull the cakes out. So there's this one and this, and then the pretty bluish greenish. So I really love the colors of this shawl. This is going to be so pretty. I have a feeling it's gonna be a little bit smaller, so maybe more of a shawlette. But I think it's going to be really, really pretty, and I really love how it's working up. So I still have a ways to go on it, but I am enjoying it so much. I love the beautiful textured stitches. Those flower stitches are so fun. And just the regular rows between, so very fun with all those textures. And Darcy has a podcast, so I would urge you to check her podcast out. I absolutely love it. So it's Darcy of Chit Chat Knits. If I'm good, I will remember to link it in the show notes down below. She shares her beautiful projects. She shares upcoming designs that she's making. She is just such a fast knitter, and the designs that are coming from her are just so fun to knit up. She has one coming out this week, which I'm really excited about. So please go check out her podcast or her patterns. They are wonderful. So that is Carla's garden shawl. The next is, let's see, my Luminous Summer Tea. This is a pattern by Mini Me Knit. And the color, or I'm using Juniper Moon Zooey in the Sloop colorway. And it's really coming along. I'm getting very close. So from the marker, I knit down that much. I have finished the sleeves. There's lots of strings hanging, but I have, I have finished the sleeves. There's very little to do on the sleeves, just a couple rounds, so I picked it up. I will say, I was sharing with my friend Lois, there was a link in the pattern to, how to kind of close up those gaps underneath the arms, and I looked at the video, but in my opinion, it wasn't the easiest video to follow. So I looked up another video, because I always do have that trouble under the arms, having holes on either side of that underarm part. So I thought I would try, and it really didn't help. So I still definitely have holes, and I'm definitely going to need to do some sweater surgery, because I do have holes. And furthermore, if you remember me talking before, after you divided for the sleeves was where you did the short rows. And I don't know if you can see it, but right where I'm indicating there, I think those are very, very visible. So I definitely am going to have to do some sweater surgery, which, and this side, just as bad. Look at those bumpy stitches. It's very frustrating to me, because I feel like I don't want to be a sloppy knitter, and I work really hard at my knitting, and I know, the yarn, there's some thickness and thinness spots, so the yarn isn't like very uniform, but I'm still a little frustrated with some of the holes that I'm getting, and from the short rows that I did. So sweater surgery, and then I hope it will be okay. But I want to get this done by the end of the month, and I know we're at, what are we at? August 24th. Oh, that's still a week. So I'm very sure, I'm saying it, I'm very sure I can get this done. I really wanted to have this done before I did this podcast so I could wear it, but I was working on too many different things, which I wanted to be working on. So, and I am making the body a little longer, but it's definitely getting close. So maybe another couple of inches, and then it's a very short ribbing bind off, I believe. But I think I'm really gonna love it. I absolutely adore the color of it. It feels really nice just holding it like this, and I think it will still get a lot of use, because we are very warm, and it will continue to be very warm in Nebraska probably for another couple of months. So I think this will still get some use out of it. So if I would make this sweater pattern again, I would not do the short rows. I would not do the short rows, which would make front and back indistinguishable. Or I would try to figure out how to do them at the top back. So that's my 2 cents on that. So Luminous Summer top, really looking forward to having that done. I really want to get that sweater done because I want to put more of my like big project time into that Carla's garden shawl, because I really want to get that done as well. But I realize I'm probably not going to be wearing that, but it's been on the needles a while and I really want to get that done. I have one more work in progress, and it is a new cast on that my friend Lois and Lois is my friend who lives near me, so my in-person knitting friend, and she gifted this pattern to me for my birthday, and we decided to do an informal knit along together. This is the Tangled Chalet by Jennifer Weissman. I don't have a whole lot done. And Lois, I'm curious to know how much more you've gotten done since we had knitting on Tuesday this week. But here it is, this really different green color. And hopefully you can see the fun texture there. So we have these big ribbed cables on the side, and then there's a tinier ribbed cable over here. There is some garter stitch, a garter stitch panel in there as well. So I'm really enjoying this. The pattern is very, very well written and very well laid out. Yeah, I can't talk about it too much because it's a paid for pattern, but just how the designer wrote her patterns, it is charted and it is written. I prefer following written directions, and it is just so well laid out. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about how well written this pattern is. Yarn, Rowan Felted Tweed, color number 216, and I looked up what color that's called. It's called French Mustard. So French Mustard is that funky green color. So still don't know if this is going to be my color, but I'm enjoying working with something different, a different color, and the yarn is really nice to work with. What is the makeup of this yarn? Let's see. I cannot read the label. I know it has a lot of fluff to it. I don't know if you can see. There's definitely a little bit of a halo. Lois said it was shedding, so she had her lint brush along. So there is a halo to it, but really, really nice yarn. This is a DK weight project, and I've just put in a couple hours on this and really have enjoyed it. So those are my finished objects, half object, and work in progress. All right, a couple things to share. I realize I am a little delayed in this, but from previous years, but I am going to once again host the 12 Skeins of Christmas mini skein swap. So this would be year 3, and what it is you, if you are interested, if you love mini skeins or scrappy projects, this could be a really fun swap for you. We do it in kind of with the idea that you could open these in December. You know, yarn advents have become really popular, so this would be a fun way to exchange with someone and not as spendy as some of those other advent calendars. So the idea is that you would use, you would make 12 10-gram minis using fingering weight yarns from your stash. So these should primarily be indie dyed yarns, and then you would exchange them with a partner who you are paired up with. And you know, once you are paired up, you can talk with each other to decide if you want to exchange other things. You know, in the past, I know with my partner, we've exchanged like a skein of yarn and usually included other little goodies. Full details can be found in the Ravelry group. I did post it a few days ago, and I posted an Instagram announcement. So I do have a few people who have signed up already. It's not very many yet, but there are a few. So if this is something you would like to participate in, please go on over there. I have said it is open to US residents. I can open it internationally if people are willing to, to ship internationally. So, so far, those who have signed up, I believe, prefer to ship US only. And that really is strictly due to shipping costs. But reach out to me if that is something you want to do and you don't live, in the United States. So all details in the Ravelry group. You just need to message me on Ravelry that you want to participate, and then I will be pairing people up probably mid-September, which will be here in a couple of weeks. I might push it a little bit longer. This may be the last year that I host this. We will see. It has been super, super fun. I know those who have participated really enjoy it. So I guess if you want to keep it going, let me know. But for sure, if this is something you'd like to do, sign up this year. I was excited to hear from a couple of new people that are participating. Really excited that you're going to do it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, you can message me on Ravelry and ask any questions you have about that swap. So that is the one thing I wanted to talk about. The next thing, I am just going to host a very informal Labor Day Hat Make-Along. And I think Andrea Mowry does KAL over Labor Day with one of her hat designs. But just like we did for Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to do the same for Labor Day weekend. So I'm going to start the Friday before, which is going to be actually next Friday already. So September 1st, and go over the weekend and through Monday night, Labor Day. Fun fact, I do not have Labor Day off. I do have to work, and Monday is my very busy day at the college. Our college does not have Labor Day off, but they do that so we can take the whole week of Thanksgiving off. So that is okay. But I would like to just do very informal, so I'm not going to have prizes or anything, but if you'd like to join in, it's really fun to see what other people are working on. I will be opening just a generic thread in the Ravelry group for a Labor Day hat knit along. So share what yarns you might want to use, what patterns you might want to use. I have a couple of patterns that I am interested in, and I will just share those now. I haven't decided for sure on the patterns or the yarns that I'm going to use, but I am looking at the Claremont cabled hat. This was designed by, for Blue Sky Fibers by, it looks like Virginia Sattler Rayner or Satier Rayner. I'm trying to read my scribble. So I just thought it looked like a really pretty cabled hat. I love doing cables, so I thought that would be really fun. The other one, I think it's also a cabled hat, is the Trail Dance hat by Darcy of Chit Chat Knits. So this has been on my radar. Amy, I think you made this hat for the Memorial Day KAL, and I really liked that. So that has been on my radar. So those are two of the hats I am thinking about. And I'm just going to share some yarn acquisitions. I haven't done that this much this year. I still have been buying yarn, not to the extent that I had been in past years, but a healthy amount still has come in. So I just want to share a couple skeins of yarn that I have gotten in, and a couple of these I am consider using for the hat knit along. So let me just share these with you. So, oops, and my yarn is falling here. Sorry, and I'm going off screen. All right, so first off, I'm going to just share this yarn. So I In July, our family went to a house on a lake and stayed with more family in Minnesota, Biwabik, Minnesota. It was a beautiful time. I did not go to a yarn store there, but I wanted to pick up, or I wanted to have souvenir yarn of that trip anyway. So I got online actually while I was in Minnesota and picked out some Minnesota yarn. So this colorway is called Lakeside, and this is Twist Light by Madeline Tosh. This is a 75-25 fingering weight yarn. So it would make a beautiful pair of socks, but it absolutely reminds me of water, sandy beaches, the greens, you know, the trees up there. It is just so pretty. So I believe this I know this came from the yarn store in Duluth, Minnesota, and I believe was their special colorway. This skein of yarn is called Romantique. It's not necessarily a Minnesota colorway, but I believe the dyer, Lavender Loon, yes, dyed in northern Minnesota. So I have heard of this yarn company, although I think this is the first skein of yarn. But again, the colors reminded me of the beaches and the water. Just, yeah, I just think that is so pretty. So this is a DK weight. I am considering this skein for the Trail Dance Hat by Darcy. So hopefully you can see how pretty that is. And that's actually, let's see, oh, that one's a cashmere, so that would be a very fancy hat. 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon. So that would be a very fancy hat. Then, you know, it's been a big Barbie summer. I did go see the movie. To me, it was okay. It was okay. I am a big Barbie fan. I really love Barbie, but the movie to me was just so-so. But I still love all things Barbie, so I do have some Barbie themed yarn that I wanted to pick up. Just, you know, so many beautiful bright things and pinks. So this is a DK self-striping sock yarn. This is by Tia's Terrific Threads on Etsy. This is called Malibu Barbie, and it is sock based, so 75-25. I just think that is going to make a really fun pair of socks. This is a DK weight sock set. I'm all about getting those faster socks done, I guess, because I've knit a couple of you know, fingering weight this summer. I'm really craving some DK weight socks again. This sock set is called Barbie Girl, and it's by Gypsy Soul Fibers. And I think all of these I got on Etsy, these pink yarns. But that is really, really pretty. And then the last is very super bright. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Is by Studio Cat Knit. What a cute label. Studio Cat Knit, and the base is called Chubby Tabby Worsted, which I think is fun, but the colorway name is Barbie's Camper. So it's got those fun pops of greeny blues in there. I guess mostly greens. So I think that would be fun. So this worsted weight, so I am thinking about the Claremont cabled worsted hat with this skein of yarn. So we will see which hat I choose to work on. Maybe both. Maybe I have no business casting on 2 hats. I don't know. We'll see. But I think hats are such a nice, fun diversion. So, so I think that is it for everything I wanted to talk about today. All of our make-alongs, the Advent Christmas swap, Labor Day Hat KAL, which is coming up next weekend. Just a little bit of chatter. We did get our daughter off to college. The night before, we went to see Hamilton, which was really near her campus. The theater is right on her campus. So that was absolutely spectacular. It was a really, really good production. There was just so much energy. So really, really great. And we're still singing the songs from it. So that was on a Sunday night. And then Monday, a week ago, we brought Jenna to school, and things are going really well. She had a week to settle in. They had lots of activities to keep the freshmen active that week. And she was kind of exhausted by the weekend, and then started classes this week, and I think they are going pretty well. I'm going to meet her for lunch tomorrow just to find out everything. We have seen her a couple times. She did come home and work the closing day at the pool, so yeah, we have seen her a couple times. But yeah, looking forward to having lunch with her tomorrow, and I'm excited that she made one of the auditioned choirs at the school, so that was a really big deal for her. So really, really excited for Jenna. Jeff and I both started back to work this week. So I started my college teaching this week, and then this coming week I will be starting my teaching at the school down the road for the elementary age kids. So I'm kind of easing into everything. So this coming week will be my first full busy regular work week. So looking forward to seeing the kiddos again. It's going to be fun. Weather-wise, really, really hot here. We have a string, like 5 days in a row of 100-degree weather. So I'm not a big fan of it. It's been very warm, and I really sympathize with those of you who have had a very extended string of 100+ days. Friends down in Texas, my son down in Texas, although I think he's doing fine. He doesn't seem to mind the heat, but my thoughts are definitely with you. I cannot wish fall here fast enough, but I know I'm going to have to wait a while, so that's okay. I hope that all of you have been doing so well. I hope you have enjoyed your summer, and good luck to those of you who are going back to teaching. I know we have some teachers, or getting kiddos back to school. I hope that you had a good summer, and that the start to your fall will go well. I hope you have enjoyed some of your crafting time, whether it be knitting, crocheting, sewing, whatever brings you joy. I hope that has been good for you. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Join in the make-alongs. If you want to swap minis, check that thread out too. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I look forward to catching up with you all in a few weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.